What's up, you guys? Bad Jack JW coming to you again with another video on buying used collectible guns. Basically, we're going to be talking about, going to keep this short and sweet, we're going to be talking about another little thing about them, and a little thing I may have touched on it in the previous videos, but definitely going to make sure it's the main focus of this one. When you're buying used guns, the collectible ones now we're talking about here, the grips are real important on there. Does it have the original grips? I just read a comment on one of my videos, and the comment was referring to the Packmeyer grips that I had on a revolver that was lent to me to the channel from a local viewer and a fan of the channel. He did not have the original grips on it, but therefore he had some Packmeyer grips on there. That kind of led me to doing this video and talking about it, because the grips on the original guns that you're buying and the collectible ones mean a lot. Right down to some of the ones like the Colt Python. If it has its original wood grips, that's a big price jump right there. Because if you guys ever tried to go look up just Colt Python grips, just the original wood grips of the gold Colt, rampant pony and everything on there, the original ones, they're going to run you some dollars, especially for ones in good shape. You can see them $200-300. So if you're trying to buy a Colt Python and it doesn't have the original grips, for instance, you may want to try to ask, hey, I need at least a few $100s off of that gun because of the grips. The grips, I'm going to need to replace them. Collector's value, collector's game. They're going to well, the Colt Python's a collectible item, it's a collector's market. They're going to definitely want that. But he doesn't have the original grips on it. He has a pair of Packmeyers or some other Hogue grips or something like that. Doesn't have the original grips on it. You're definitely going to want to ask him, you better take a few $100s off that gun, because at that point, the collector is not going to want those other aftermarket grips. They're going to want the original grips on there. Same thing with the Diamondback, the Colt Diamondback. These grips are very expensive. I happened to luck out and buy this gun with the original grips on them. And you try to go and buy the original grips now, they're even harder to find than the Python grips. I don't know what the whole deal is about it, but for some reason, from my experience on it, trying to find them online, it was a lot more expensive trying to replace the Diamondback grips. And a lot of times they're broken. When I actually take these off and looked at them, they have some real thin areas where they kind of can be brittle. And a lot of times they're broken right around here where the trigger guard is. So that's something else to look at. For those of you, the Smith & Wesson guys, this I have here is a vintage pre-model 10 Smith & Wesson with its original grips. The original grips to this date and this era of this gun, which is a 5-screw model, has the diamonds around the screw. So it has both on each side. So that's another thing. If I were to try to replace the grips for this gun, if it didn't have them, it'd be kind of hard, because you'd have to find the ones that be kind of hard to find those ones, with the diamonds on them. That's going to be kind of a search, because most of the time the vintage Smith & Wesson grips that you can find on Gunbroker, eBay, and whatnot, more than likely you're not going to find the ones with the diamonds. If you do, they're going to want a pretty penny for one. People know they're collectible. Even when you're going back to the early, some of the ones that were making in the 50s, they have what they call the Coke bottle grips, especially the Model 29, the 44 Magnum, the big end frame, the dirty hairy gun. Some of those original ones had what they call the Coke bottle grips, where the grips would actually swell out a little bit. The reason they got that name, the Coke bottle grips, is because when you looked at them from the profile from the back, they actually had that Coke bottle, the old school glass Coke bottle look, because they kind of like had a sweep out to them and then they sweep back in. Really cool, really sexy. They demand a premium these days. You can still buy them. Even the reproductions, some of the other companies have been reproducing them and sending them out there. They want just ridiculous amounts of money for them. And I mean, we're talking about reproductions there. It's kind of ridiculous. Even down to the old military pistols you're going to buy. This is an old Colt 45 from World War II. The original Bakelite plastic cheap brown grips that they're furnishing these things with, because by the time World War II rolled around, they were not giving them walnut grips and everything. They were just putting on cheap stuff, because most of this stuff just got lost in the war, damage and whatnot. They were just needing to pump out these things like, just at a rapid order just to get them out. So, but actually that can affect it. You want the original, again, it is just as down to as the cheap Bakelite or plastic kind of brown grips. You want those. I don't have an actual, this is my FEG Browning HiPower copy, but if you're looking at the old Browning HiPowers, the Belgium made ones that were like a T series or C series, and that's going by the serial number and a prefix. What that means is they're all made in Belgium. They're not to be mistaken by the ones made in Belgium, assembled in Portugal. Those are two different stampings that you don't want. The ones you want are made in Belgium. They got the ring hammer like this one, this reproduction does have, and everything like that. And then the back of the walnut grips, you'll notice well, first of all, you'll notice right away they kind of look like real thick grips with a heavy border around them. Almost look like a cabinet door to me. But if you reverse those, they're red on the back. Those original vintage Browning HiPowers have red backs on them. They're, you know, I don't know, they have a bunch of different names for them, but that actually, the value on that, you know, in general can increase or decrease depending on those grips. So anyway, that's just kind of a little touch on it. You know, if you're buying used collectible guns, you know, and stuff like that, we're mainly focusing on handguns here. But check the grips. Make sure the grips are proper. You know, especially if you're paying those high prices, you know, that's your money going out there in big dollars for, you know, collectible stuff. And, you know, when it comes to collectible guns, the seller always likes to throw in that word, collectible. This is a collector's item. Well, use it to your advantage. You know, this is some of the information that you can take with you and try to, you know, use it to your advantage on it. And condition. Remember that. He may have the original grips, but what condition are they in? Anyway, I'm Batjack JW. Thanks for watching. I appreciate everybody that's supporting the channel. Any questions, leave them below in the comments. I try to get back to everybody that obviously leaves the positive comments. Anyway, catch you next time on another video. Thanks for watching.